All right, welcome back, decoders, to the channel. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you guys are. This is Decoding with Cody coming to you live from Albania. Me and my girlfriend spent all of yesterday traveling, so this presentation is going to be an impromptu. It's not going to be like my normal videos. I'm going to be doing a lot of impromptu. It's going to be more off the cuff, and because I didn't have a lot of time to put the information together, but we're going to talk about a lot of interesting things going on right now. And I just had to put all this stuff together in one video. So I'm going to be jumping around to all kinds of different subjects, okay? But it all ties together as we enter into the new lunar new year, the dragon year, which has officially begun. As you can see from this post here, Happy Lunar New Year. In China, the dragon year has officially been ushered in. Okay, so remember, guys, Usher is performing at the Super Bowl, and of course, they have to use the word as we usher in the new year of the dragon. Okay, so we're ushering in, right? And we're going to talk about Usher. We're going to talk about the dragon year. We're going to talk about the year of open doors. Okay, open doors and the door. And you guys know in the Bible, it refers to Jesus as the door, okay? In fact, in Revelation or in John 10:9, which is like 109, it says, I am the door. If anyone enters by me, he will be saved and will go into and out and find pasture, okay? So take note that the scripture John 10:9, which is kind of like the number 109, okay? And so now we're going to talk about the door. So this is the first subject. Again, guys, this video is going to be a bit shorter than usual because my girlfriend wants to sleep. So I'm just going to share the information and just let you guys know what I'm seeing here, okay? Hello, Rick and Cosmic Hillbilly and Miriam and Monica and Warren. Hope you guys are doing well. So got 33 in the chat, but everyone who's watching on the replay, hope you guys are doing well also. So it says in John 10:9 that I am the door, okay? And this year, according to the Jewish New Year 5784 is all about the year of the open door, okay? So this is the open door. Jesus is the door, and he's the only one that can open the door. And remember, in the book of Revelations, it says that the key was given to the root of David, the church of Philadelphia, right? The key of David, and Jesus holds the key to the door. So what does this open door mean? You know, how is this connected to our current situation where we have the Super Bowl coming up, we have the dragon year, we have all these events kind of culminating in a very special year. And as you can see, hold on a second, at the Super Bowl, we have a performer named Usher, okay? He is performing at the Super Bowl. Let me just verify for that. So if you just do a quick search, you'll see that Usher is performing at the halftime show. And why is this important, guys? Why is Usher so important to the door? Well, because if you look up the definition of an usher, another name for usher is a doorkeeper, okay? So this year is the year of the open door, and we have a guy performing at the Super Bowl in the very beginning of the new year, the Chinese New Year, named Usher, who means doorkeeper, okay? And I'm going to verify this using the gematria. So in the Bible, it's John 10:9 that says, I am the door, okay? 10:9, like the number 109, okay? So if we come over here to gematria and we type in the number 109, like the verse that says, I am the door. Hold on a second. Let me get it all set up. And you type in 109, and you're going to get doorman, okay? So Do you guys get what I just showed you? Okay, I just showed you that Usher is the doorkeeper. He's performing at the Super Bowl at the beginning of the Chinese New Year. And this year, according to the Jewish calendar, is the year of open doors. Okay. And in John 10:9, like 109, it talks about the door. And 109 is doorman, like a doorkeeper. Okay. And an usher. Okay. Now, what I want to really point out here is I'm going to weave in all kinds of different things that have been happening. Okay. So the first thing is, let me lay out what happened just last night in the WWE, and let me rewind to a couple years ago where Chris Rock, okay? So let me just show you that first. You guys probably remember, okay? Will Smith slaps Chris Rock, okay? This was at the Oscars in 2022, all right? So we have The Rock being slapped, and that happened at this time, okay? And this was a big thing at the time. And so now, as we enter into this year, we have a repeat of this incident, okay? This time, WWE has brought back one of the most famous, popular wrestlers of all time, and who is now a famous actor, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, okay? And Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is part of a bloodline, okay, of WWE wrestlers, okay? And I'm going to get to this in a minute. Here is the family tree that he unveiled. It's the bloodline, and the current champion, Roman Reigns, is the current WWE champion. He's been champion for over 3 years, and Cody Rhodes has tried to beat him last year at WrestleMania but failed. But these two are cousins, The Rock and Roman Reigns, and they're part of a bloodline, okay? And here, this was last night, guys, that The Rock unveiled the bloodline's family tree, okay? And so now I got to bring up the other guy who's involved in this, Cody Rhodes, okay? Cody Rhodes gets slapped by The Rock, okay? So do you remember how Chris Rock got slapped by Will Smith? And now, a few years later, you have The Rock doing the slapping, okay? And the reason that The Rock slapped Cody Rhodes here is because The Rock stole Cody Rhodes' spot, and then Cody Rhodes stood up for himself and said, no, I'm not going to let you do that. And then he insulted the bloodline. So basically, he insulted the Catholic Church, the royal bloodline of the world, because that's what these guys stand for in wrestling, okay? And he got slapped for it, all right? So again, I know you guys don't understand this whole wrestling thing, but this is huge. This family, as a family of wrestlers that have been in wrestling for 30 years, okay? And it all started with the great-grandfather of The Rock and the great-grandfather of Roman Reigns, who is the current champion. And they made a blood oath, and their whole family became the bloodline, okay? So what I want you guys to understand is that this is connected to this coming year, which is going to be a lot of the color red, which is going to connect to the blood, okay? And Will Smith being slapping The Rock, and then them turning around, and now The Rock is doing the slapping. So it's the reversal. Now, Cody Rhodes, he is also part of a bloodline of his father was Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, okay? Cody Rhodes is known as the American Nightmare. His father died, and so this is a family. This is basically they're fighting over who is the royal family of the WWE, okay? And both these families, Cody Rhodes' family and The Rock and Roman Reigns' family, are historic families in the company, okay? And the slap, again, is the reversal of the Chris Rock slap a few years ago. So why is Cody Rhodes important? Let me bring him up for you guys. Cody Rhodes won the Royal Rumble a month ago, or less than a month ago, and whoever wins the Royal Rumble faces the champion Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, which is coming up right one day before the Great American Eclipse. And I've showed this on my channel before, but Cody Rhodes is known as the American Nightmare. And again, his father was a very famous wrestler. So he is a bloodline of his own. But just notice the ominous name, the American Nightmare, okay? This is why I've been saying that there's a nightmare coming to America. And whenever Cody Rhodes wins the title from Roman Reigns, you can expect that that's probably when things really go down. And as I told you, WrestleMania is when Cody Rhodes faces him. And let me bring that up. WrestleMania 40 is happening on April 7th, which is one day before the Great American Eclipse. This is happening in Philadelphia at Lincoln Financial Field. And there's no more American city than Philadelphia, okay? And don't forget, there's a lot of connections to Philadelphia with Kobe Bryant, with so many people, okay? And so this happening, this is when Cody Rhodes wins the title from Roman Reigns after Roman Reigns has held the title for over 3 years, which is a long reign. This is when stuff could really go down, okay? Now, the big thing here is, again, the bloodline is slapping Cody Rhodes. And I believe this represents, well, first of all, let me bring up why I brought up The Rock to begin with, okay? I was talking about the open doors, right? This is the year of open doors, according to the Jewish calendar. And I told you that Revelation 10:9, which is like 109, equals doorman, okay? Doorman equals 109, okay? Now remember, Jesus is also referred to as the door and as the rock, okay? And notice that the rock, who just slapped Cody Rhodes, also equals doorman, okay? And the rock is doing this as we enter into the dragon year, okay? So he did this one day before we move from the rabbit year to the dragon year. So he's the doorman leading into the dragon year, okay? And again, it's not a coincidence that in John 10:9, it says, I am the door, okay? So the 109 is important. There's a lot of other 109s I could talk about here, but I just wanted to bring up this connection with The Rock, okay? In case you guys don't know who that is, let me bring him up here. Remember, there was actually a movie called The Rock also. There's probably a lot of other connections. Like I said, guys, I didn't have time to put all this together. But, you know, this is Dwayne The Rock, and he was tied heavily to the Maui fires, okay? Remember, him and Oprah asked people to donate money towards the Maui fires, and they got a lot of backlash for that because they're already billionaires, and they were trying to get people who don't have money to donate when they could easily donate. So again, this guy is huge. He's even been rumored to run for president, this guy. So this guy is so big. I mean, he was the most famous wrestler of all time. He's been rumored to run for president. He's one of the biggest Hollywood actors. He owns multiple companies. He owns soccer teams. He owns companies. He's just a puppet, right? But he is a big symbol, right? And he's another reference to The Rock, right? Jesus. So with that being said, why did he slap Cody Rhodes yesterday? And guess where this happened, guys? Guess where The Rock slapped Cody Rhodes and unveiled the bloodline tree was in Las Vegas, okay? And the Super Bowl is in 2 days in Las Vegas. And again, what are the chances that all this is going down in Vegas and this goes down 2 days before Vegas, right? And so again, I talked about how it's the year of the dragon. We're entering into a new year, and WrestleMania is right one day before the Great American Eclipse. Okay, so let me bring all this together with one number, and let me show you how I knew that there was going to be something that would go down last year on October 7th when the Hamas attacked Israel. And I'll show you what number led me to that date before it happened, okay? So this is the number that helped me to basically see that there would be an event on October 7th last year. That was Vladimir Putin's birthday, okay? And now, not only do we have The Rock in the news, we also have Vladimir Putin in the news. And he's being interviewed by Tucker Carlson. So let me show you how this number worked out. Let me show you this. So from the Great American Eclipse, which happens on 4/8, if you go back 184 days, let me show you this. This is really important, guys. I was already looking at this date last year before Hamas attacked, okay? It was 184 days before the Great American Eclipse, okay, which is on 4/8, which is one day after WrestleMania in Philadelphia, okay, on 4/7. 184 is a huge number. Let me show you how this is, okay? So the WrestleMania that's happening one day before the eclipse is at Lincoln Financial Field, which equals 184, okay? Cody Rhodes will be the one featured, and he will be the one that's trying to win the title. Let me just show you a clip of that. Hold on. So again, last night it was made official that Cody Rhodes will be challenging Roman Reigns at the WrestleMania one day before the eclipse, right? You can notice the Philadelphia bell here. Let me bring up the whole picture. Okay, the Liberty Bell with the crack. And again, I told you this guy's nickname is the American Nightmare. Okay, they're showing cracks in America, right? The crack in the Liberty Bell. Roman Empire, the fall of the Roman Empire, which is the United States. Okay. And if Cody Rhodes wins, the American Nightmare beats the Roman Empire, and the Roman Empire falls, the cracks will be unleashed, guys. I'm telling you, this is clear symbolism. And again, this is happening one day before the eclipse. I cannot say that enough. That's one day before this huge eclipse that is such a big event in American history, okay? And how did I know that something would happen on October 7th? Well, I went back 184 days from the Great American Eclipse to October 7th, which is Vladimir Putin's birthday. Vladimir Putin, his birthday. Remember, he was the one who attacked Ukraine on 2/24, and now we're in the year 2/24. And then last year on Putin's birthday, Hamas attacked Israel. So Putin is absolutely tied to both of those wars because one happened on his birthday and one happened on 2/24, which is the year we're in, 2/24. Now, how about the 184? Okay. Well, the reason that's important is because I told you Great American Eclipse equals 184. I went back 184 days before the Great American Eclipse, and I landed on this day, which was the day the war started. Okay. October 7th, Putin's birthday. Now, I told you that WrestleMania will be happening one day before the eclipse. WrestleMania equals 184, like Great American Eclipse. The WWE released a documentary about Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, called Becoming Cody Rhodes, which equals 184. Cody Rhodes was born June 30th, okay? June 30th just happens to be the day leaving 184 days in the year. So Cody Rhodes, Becoming Cody Rhodes, 184. He's born on the 184 days left in the year. And look at the guy who slaps him. The guy who slaps him last night, who's known as The Rock, also known as Dwayne Johnson. Dwayne Johnson equals 184. The reason I put Liberty Reynolds in here is because Cody Rhodes' daughter is named Liberty, kind of like he will be fighting at the WrestleMania with the Liberty Bell symbol, okay? His daughter's name is Liberty, and he had his daughter way before he knew he was going to be wrestling in Liberty City. And she named he named her Liberty Reynolds, right? And Liberty Reynolds equals 184, like all this other stuff, okay? So this is perfectly tied with the 184 and Cody Rhodes, who's born on the day leaving 184 days in the year. And again, it all goes back to that eclipse, which equals 184. So now here's where we get into the dragon year. So I told you, you go 184 days back from the eclipse, which equals 184, and you land on Putin's birthday. Okay. And Putin was just interviewed as we enter the year of the dragon. Okay. So why is that important? Why is the dragon year so important to Putin? Well, because what is Vladimir Putin's Chinese zodiac? Vladimir Putin was born in 1952, the year of the Chinese dragon. Okay? So why are they having an interview with Putin one day before the dragon year starts, and he was born in a dragon year? As a matter of fact, he was born in the same year as Queen Elizabeth became queen. She became queen in a dragon year, and Putin was born in a dragon year. And now, as we get ready to enter this year, Putin is the center of attention going into the dragon year. And this is a doorway into the new year, right? And I already talked about how this is the year of open doors. Okay. Now, I told you how usher means doorkeeper, right? And he's performing at the Super Bowl. All right. And Cody Rhodes last night gets slapped by The Rock right here. And The Rock called Cody's fans Cody crybabies. Right here it says WWE's Dwayne The Rock Johnson has a message for the Cody crybabies, right? The reason that he said that is because everyone was crying about the fact that he took Cody Rhodes' spot, okay? And so what does Cody crybabies equal? Let me show you how this is coded. So notice that he called the Cody crybabies, right? Which equals 59, like dragon. Dragon equals 59, okay? And we're entering into the year of the dragon one day before this happened, or after this happened. And notice what Cody crybabies equals in the other cipher. If I can spell, hold on. I cannot spell, I guess. Sorry, guys, hold on. So Cody crybabies equals 131, right? And this is a big number. Let me bring up the 131s, okay? Again, this slap where The Rock slaps Cody Rhodes and calls them Cody crybabies equals 131. And this happened in Vegas, and Vegas is where the Super Bowl is going to be in tomorrow or 2 days, okay? And look at what Super Bowl and championship, which is the Super Bowl, equals, and Tucker on X. And again, Tucker Carlson, his show is called Tucker on X, right? 131 for all these. So all these things are lining up with the 131 connecting to the Super Bowl, which again is in Vegas, just like where Cody Rhodes got slapped, right? So what a perfect sync for Vladimir Putin, who's a dragon, right? And Cody Rhodes to get slapped, right? And this all goes back to what I was showing before, how we're entering into this huge year, all right? And yeah, so there's so much more to say about this, but I'm trying to just go through all these topics and bring up these topics just so that they're out there. And again, this is an inverse of what happened a few years ago with Will Smith. And remember, Will Smith is born in Philadelphia, right? He was the Bel Air guy. So Will Smith, let me just show you how this all connects. So Will Smith played, well, first of all, he's born in Philadelphia. I just told you WrestleMania this year, where Cody Rhodes will be, is in Philadelphia. The symbol is literally the Liberty Bell, which is all Philadelphia. And there's no more American city than Philadelphia, okay? And Will Smith, he was the one who slapped Chris Rock. And now you have The Rock slapping the guy who's going to be in Philadelphia right before the eclipse, okay? So signaling something big, definitely. And now there's a lot of people saying that people expect an attack at the Super Bowl. As a matter of fact, there was a guy named Joe Buck, an announcer, who came out and said that he doesn't want to go to the Super Bowl because NFL announcer Joe Buck predicts a bad story will come out of Super Bowl this year. It won't stay in Vegas, he says. Okay, and so why are they putting this out, guys? Maybe it's too obvious now. Remember, I've been showing that there's a lot of syncs with this Super Bowl and some sort of false flag, okay? And so now you have Joe Buck coming out, an announcer, saying that he predicts there's going to be a bad story that will come out of the Super Bowl, and it will not stay in Vegas, okay? And actually, let me decode this guy. We know what's interesting about this guy is he's born in St. Petersburg. Remember, Peter is the rock that Jesus built his church on. Okay, St. Petersburg. Vladimir Putin was born also in Russia in St. Petersburg. Okay, so is this signaling that Vladimir Putin is going to have to be involved in something around the Super Bowl? Okay, so I told you, yeah, I don't see anything there for his name right away, but I'll have to look more into him. Well, Joe Buck equals 122, like Pope Francis, like San Francisco, like Kansas City, like Las Vegas, NV. So there's a lot of connections here with this guy, Joe Buck. Joe Buck equals 122, like Las Vegas, NV equals 122, like Kansas City, which is in the Super Bowl, equals 122. San Francisco equals 122. So this is a huge number. So, of course, you got the guy with the 122 gematria mentioning the Super Bowl is going to have a bad story come out of it. Actually, let's look up the gematria of bad story. Hold on. Oh my gosh, bad story. Look at this. All right, so he's saying there's going to be a bad story that comes out of the Super Bowl. First of all, the Super Bowl is the very last game of the 104th NFL season. Like bad story equals 104, okay? Also, it equals 112 and 49, like Super Bowl. 112 and 49. Bad story equals 112 and 49, okay? So again, what are the chances of this? And this is a huge number, guys. Let me go over all the 112s right now, okay? Super Bowl, 112 and 49, like Judaism, like Donald. And we know Donald Trump's going to have a big connection to this. Tucker on X, the show with Tucker Carlson. Joe Buck says there's going to be a bad story come out of the Super Bowl, 112 and 49. Usher is performing. The Usher equals 104 and 112. Again, this is the 104th NFL season. The Chiefs are in the Super Bowl, which equals 112. Okay, Kamala Harris could have a big part in this, equals 112. Zionist, 112. The doorkeeper, I started this whole stream by talking about doorkeepers, 112. Catholicism, 112. I mean, this number is just absolutely insanely big. I never talk about it, but this connects everything, guys. I mean, the 112, the 49, and the 104, all huge numbers connected to this Super Bowl. Okay. And again, Joe Buck says there would be a bad story, which equals 112 and 49, like Super Bowl. Okay. What a joke. And he says it won't stay in Vegas. Let's code that. Let's see what we can find out of that. See, I'm just decoding on the fly. It won't stay in Vegas. Hold on. Well, you got that 216. Like, you guys know this number, right? This is the 666 number. Let's just try it won't stay in Vegas. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot to talk about here, but yeah, I'll just leave that. But the big thing is here, bad story equals 112, like Super Bowl, okay? And again, this guy is born in St. Petersburg, and Vladimir Putin is born in St. Petersburg. Okay, not the same country, obviously, but different countries, but same city. Okay, so it's definitely something to watch out for because, again, I told you that last year, and now let's talk about the dragon year. I told you that Vladimir Putin is a Chinese zodiac, the year of the dragon. Vladimir Putin was born in a dragon year, and now we're going into the dragon year. Okay, now remember, he attacked Ukraine on 2/24. Okay. You guys remember this day, 224, right? And let's go. So why is this 224 number important? Well, because first of all, this was a foreshadowing, guys. He attacks Ukraine to start a war on 224, which is foreshadowing the year 224, because 2024, if you type it in, 2024, and you remove the 0, you get 224. Now, why is this tied to the dragon? Because there's a very famous movie by Bruce Lee called Enter the Dragon, okay? And that just happens to equal 224, okay? And remember, Putin is the dragon, born in a dragon year. Enter the Dragon, 224. 154, like the Antichrist, equals 154, okay? And so there's other 224s. Russia-Ukraine war equals 224, and it started on 224. And again, Enter the Dragon also equals that. So what a coincidence that Putin started this war, and then 2 years later, on his birthday last year, on Putin's birthday, Hamas attacked Israel. So Putin is connected to both perfectly. And so let's go from when he attacked Ukraine to the beginning of the dragon year. Well, I don't know if his interview was yesterday, but anyway, it's 102 weeks, guys. It's 102 weeks from his attack on Ukraine to the Putin interview and the dragon year starting, okay? The reason that's important is because World War equals 102. So what is the chance that he has all this connection, okay? He has all this connection to the dragon in the 224 when he attacked Ukraine, and now 102 weeks later, he's being interviewed on X. And 102 is World War, guys. Okay? Also, it's the reverse of the 201. We know how big the 201 is. Okay? Also, the element that was used to create the atomic bomb, supposed atomic bomb, plutonium, equals 102. Okay? Putin has a lot of connections to Pluto. And I just already made a video a few weeks back about how Pluto entered Aquarius. Okay. And Pluto is a huge part of this as well, but I'm not going to get into that here as much. But just notice it has the 102, and that connects to war also. And now we're in the 102nd week. So watch out for this week, guys. But also watch out for 103 weeks. 103 weeks after Putin, the dragon, attacked Ukraine. Why? 103. Why 103? Well, because dragon. Dragon equals 103. And if there's going to be some sort of dragon ritual with Putin in an attack or something, it could possibly go down 103 weeks after he attacked Ukraine. Okay. And let me show you something rather ominous about this time period also for Joe Biden. Remember, we had Joe Biden in the news last night having to defend himself because of his old age. It came out that that prosecutor in the court said that Biden was going to get a free pass because he was just an old man with a bad memory. Okay. I don't know if you guys saw that story, but that's what he said. He said Biden's an old man with a bad memory, but we're just going to let him pass because he withheld these documents, right? But something very ominous about Joe Biden is this. So from the day that Joe Biden was born, okay, watch this. This is pretty interesting. From the day that Joe Biden was born on 11/20/1942 to 2/13, okay, is 29671 days, okay? And this is a prime number, okay? Look at the prime of this. Joe Biden will be this many days old on February 13th, okay? In a couple days. And that's the 322 prime. If you drop the 0, it's 322. And why is that interesting, guys? Well, first of all, we know that's the number of skull and bones. But what else is interesting about this number on this day? Why? Because this is the day that leaves 322 days in the year. Do you guys see how improbable that is? Joe Biden will be the 322 prime number of days old on the day leaving 322 days in the year. Okay, and this is obviously the skull and bones number. And they're releasing a video game called Skull and Bones. Actually, it's already released, guys. They just released this game called Skull and Bones and has the X. Okay? And the Brotherhood of Death, or the secret society out of Yale, is known by the number 322. And Biden will be 322 prime days old on the day leaving 322 days in the year. That's improbable. Also, what else is important about this 213 day is it's the 59 date numerology. 2 plus 13 plus 20 plus 24, 59, like dragon equals 59, okay? And let me bring up some other 59s that are relevant with this whole video. Remember, I talked to you about how Dwayne Johnson slapped Cody Rhodes and called them Cody crybabies. Dwayne Johnson calls them Cody crybabies, which equals 59 like dragon, and the bloodline. Remember, I told you that Dwayne Johnson and Roman Reigns are part of the bloodline, which equals 59. There's a lot to talk about with this number, but I just wanted to point out how this day, this 322 day left in the year, has 59 date numerology, which could be big. It's the first day in the dragon year that has 59 date numerology. And again, dragon equals 59. Okay. So it definitely could be a huge one. Don't discount Valentine's Day too. I've already talked about Valentine's Day. I've talked about the 215 day. I've also talked about the 216. February after the Super Bowl looks very interesting in many ways. Okay. So now we're going to go talk about the Super Bowl real fast. I'm trying to get through this stuff as best as possible, guys. So I want to give a big shout out to Zenith of the Alpha, okay? And he's one of the guys that I will link his channel in the comments of this video if you guys want to check him out. He stumbled across this video that came out in 2020 called Match Made in Hell. And this was a commercial. Let me just bring up the actual commercial. I just wanted to give Zenith of the Alpha a big shout out. So make sure you guys go subscribe to him, okay? But I'm going to bring up this actual commercial here so you guys can watch this with me. And again, I'm going to show you how this ties. I'm going to show you guys how this ties perfectly in with this year's Super Bowl. Okay? So, and this was in 2020. So, but this is crazy, guys. What I'm about ready to show you is absolutely insane. Let it load for a minute. Hold on. Okay, so the video, this is a commercial posted by Ryan Reynolds. I already connected Ryan Reynolds to the Dragon year. Why? Because Ryan Reynolds is going to be having a Super Bowl commercial run this year that's all about the Dragon. Ryan Reynolds, Dragon Super Bowl commercial. Let me see if I can pull it up. Hold on. So yeah, I told you in my prior videos, I showed how there will be a Super Bowl ad airing featuring Ryan Reynolds, who owns the team, the Wrexham Dragons, and he will be airing a commercial for the Wrexham Dragons and a coffee ad, okay? I already showed that in my prior video, so if you guys are confused, go back and watch that. But then I didn't even know that Ryan Reynolds had a commercial in 2020, guys, and it was called A Match Made in Hell, okay? And this is absolutely insane. I'm going to take you through this commercial, and I'm going to show you guys, again, big shout out to Zenith of the Alpha for this. But let's just go over this. So it starts out, says 11 months ago, and this was in 2020 while we were in the you know what, Okay. So, of course, they're coming out with a commercial. And what happened in 2020, guys? What was the Super Bowl in 2020? It was the Chiefs and the 49ers. This is the same Super Bowl. It's happening in 2024. This is the rematch of the 2020 Super Bowl. And in 2020, oh gosh, I accidentally deleted my, hold on. In 2020, Ryan Reynolds released this Super Bowl or this commercial called A Match Made in Hell. Let me hold on a second. Sorry. So anyway, it says 11 months ago, and it's all about, you can see Satan is sitting, and this is Ryan Reynolds who's playing the devil here, okay? And he's sitting here and he's waiting for a match to come up on his phone because he's on this dating site called match.com. And he's waiting and he's waiting, and finally a message comes through and he says, "You're a match." And it says, "You're a match with the year 2020. The girl's name is 2020, okay? So what happens is he goes and he meets this girl. Here's Satan, right? He's waiting to meet up with his match. The girl's name is 2020. That's why they were saying that the year 2020 was a hell of a year, right? Remember that how bad that year was? And you can see a lightning strike, and we know that Satan falls like lightning. Hold on a second. So here's 2020. She shows up and she says, "Hey, Satan, nice to meet you," right? And then there's a lightning strike. And then he says to her, "Are you number 2020?" And then she says to him, "You can call me 2020. Okay. So this was just a reference. Now, later on, the song, you see a lightning strike, which again connects to Satan because Satan falls like lightning. And basically, what happens after that is they start walking away and the song starts playing called Love Story. Okay. And what is Love Story? Okay. Love Story is a song by Taylor Swift. Okay. So in this ad in 2020, and I'm sorry, guys, I keep messing up and closing out this video. Hold on. Anyway, in the song, in the video, A Match Made in Hell, they play Love Story, okay, which is Taylor Swift's song. And now we have Taylor Swift being involved in the Super Bowl, but she wasn't involved in the Super Bowl in 2020, but now she's involved in the Chiefs because she's dating the Chiefs player, right? And now she's going to be at the Super Bowl, and now she's in a love story with the guy who's playing in the Super Bowl, Travis Kelce, okay? So anyway, let me fast forward, and now look where they go. They go to a football stadium, and it has the same colors as the Chiefs colors. And remember, the Chiefs are the ones who won the Super Bowl in 2020. And I told you that Chiefs equals 112. Let me just bring up all these 112s again. Remember, the Super Bowl is on 112. Remember, Joe Buck just said that there would be a bad story that comes out of the Super Bowl. Taylor Swift's song is called Love Story, okay? And it mentions Romeo and Juliet. What happens in, okay, so the lyrics to Taylor Swift's song are, "Romeo, take me somewhere we can be alone," okay? "And stay away from Juliet." So this song is a love story about Romeo and Juliet. But how does the story of Romeo and Juliet, how does it end? Okay? It ends in a bad story, just like Joe Buck, okay? Just like Joe Buck just came out and said that the Super Bowl with Taylor Swift involved would end in a bad story. A bad story would come out of it, okay? And in this Super Bowl commercial, they played Love Story, and this was 4 years ago, and it was the same two teams that played 4 years ago, okay? And you can see they're eating here in the stadium, and here's the colors, okay? That's the Chiefs colors, guys, the red and the yellow, okay? So this was signaling a rematch of the 2020 Super Bowl, which is exactly what we're heading into right now. And as you can see, the whole color theme of this video is yellow and red, which is the Chiefs colors, okay? And then they're in the theater, right? And then they're stealing toilet paper. Now, remember what happened in 2020 with the toilet paper, okay? See that they're stealing toilet paper, guys. I mean, come on. Don't forget, toilet paper equals 56, like mind control, like Society of Jesus, like coronavirus, all equals 56 toilet paper, okay? And as you can see, this whole thing's about a love story. And then there's a dumpster fire, okay? So how much more can we get here? A dumpster fire behind Satan and 2020, a dumpster fire, right? The year was a bit of a dumpster fire. So a repeat, and again, we're getting a repeat of the same teams from 2020. So what are they saying? You know, what are they saying, guys? I want you guys to notice the records of these two teams in that year. The Chiefs ended the year 15-4. The San Francisco 49ers ended the year 15-4. Why is that a big number? Well, I already showed you this. But the Antichrist equals 154. Like Barack Obama equals 64. Barack Hussein Obama 64. But the 154 is the Antichrist. And both teams in 2020 ended the season with a record of 154. Okay. Like the Antichrist. And then, of course, this commercial depicts Satan, right? But just look what happens at the very end of this commercial. They're sitting in front of a bridge, guys. And it reminds you of the Golden Gate Bridge. I don't think it is the Golden Gate Bridge, but it reminds you of the Golden Gate Bridge, okay, which is in San Francisco. And remember, this video was made in the year that San Francisco lost in the Super Bowl, okay? But watch what happens. They're sitting there, nothing's happening, but watch. Meteors or missiles are literally coming out of the sky and hitting the city, guys. Look at that. That is insane. I'll just let you guys look at that for a minute because that is absolutely insane considering that you have San Francisco, which makes me think of this bridge here, and you got the fire, okay? Remember, Tucker Carlson, who just interviewed Putin, and if you guys missed the beginning of the stream, you got to go back and watch. I've tied all this together perfectly. Tucker Carlson is from San Francisco, guys. And he just interviewed Putin, who is the dragon. He's born in a dragon year. And he started the war on 224. And now in the year, the dragon is the 224. And enter the dragon equals 224. Okay. This year is enter the dragon year. Okay. And just so you guys don't know, enter the dragon also equals 154. Like how both these teams in 2020 had a 154 record. Like the Antichrist, 154 right here. But the 224 is the year, okay? And the same day that Putin attacked Ukraine, Russia-Ukraine war, I already showed, equals 224, okay? And I told you already why it's 103 weeks later after the Super Bowl and dragon equals 103, okay? So I'm just tying all this together. This is the year of the open door, and they're going to open the door, okay? Is that the Brooklyn Bridge? Okay. Yeah, I don't know what bridge it is. I'm not like a bridge person, but yeah, maybe if you guys think that's the Brooklyn Bridge, yeah. So New York, right? But still, it also makes me think of the most famous bridge in the United States, which is the Golden Gate Bridge. And yeah, so this commercial definitely had to be brought up. And as you can see, it ends in fire and the word match. Okay. Let me see if I missed any connections here. I want to talk about the 112 again. Okay. Again, the Super Bowl equals 112. Joe Buck, the announcer, said the Super Bowl will have a bad story that comes out of it, which equals 112. Kamala Harris, I've talked a lot about her, 112. Judaism, 112. Donald Trump, Zionists, Catholicism, Chiefs, Tucker on X, which is the name of Tucker Carlson's show, the Usher, and Usher is performing. Usher is the doorkeeper, and doorkeeper also equals 112. And we just had The Rock slapping Cody Rhodes I already went over that. If you guys missed the beginning, you got to go back and watch how Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson slapped Cody Rhodes last night, just like Chris Rock was slapped in 2022. Okay. But this 112, and then don't forget, guys, the Super Bowl is on 112. Okay. 11/2. So a lot to think about here, a lot to connect. Again, this love story song is featured in the Match Made in Hell commercial. Okay. So we shall see. What is this love story is it gonna end like Romeo and Juliet with both of them dying? Remember in the story Romeo and Juliet, it ends in a not so good outcome, guys. Romeo and Juliet is a tragedy. Okay, ends in tragedy. Let's see what the word tragedy equals. I didn't look that up. Again, I can't spell. Oh my gosh. Well, I already talked about this, guys. I just talked about this. Okay, so in the beginning of the stream, I talked about The Rock, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Okay, look at Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, or The Rock equals tragedy in all four ciphers. Okay. Also, don't forget that Satan also equals 80 and 35. Okay, like The Rock and like tragedy. And Baphomet also equals almost the same. First of all, notice that Baphomet equals The Rock in almost all the ciphers. And why is that, guy? What's The Rock's symbol? Okay. The Rock symbol is a bull, which kind of reminds you of, the horns with the Baphomet, right? And The Rock equals Baphomet in 3 out of 4 ciphers, okay? And tragedy, right? And I just told you that the Romeo and Juliet story from Taylor Swift is all about a tragedy, right? So what is this tragedy? Is this the fall of the America, a fall of the United States, the fall of the Roman Empire, the dragon year? The fall of the US dollar? Is Russia going to announce their BRICS currency that collapses the US dollar? That's what I think it's really talking about, guys. Remember, it was Joe Buck. I'll bring that up again for those who missed it. It was Joe Buck who said there would be a bad story coming out of the Super Bowl. Well, his name is Buck, guys. Well, the first thing I think of when I hear the word buck, maybe you think of a deer, but I also think of a dollar bill. A buckaroo, a buckaroni, right? So I don't know. Is that the bad story? Is Putin going to announce something on how the BRICS currency was being established last year, right? And now are they going to announce a BRICS currency that's going to collapse the buck or the dollar, right? And that could be. Maybe it's not going to be an attack. It's not going to be a crash of like an actual war. It could be a war of the money. Okay. And I already told you that Joe Buck is born in the same city name as Vladimir Putin, St. Petersburg, Russia, and St. Petersburg, Florida. So that's why they had this guy. That's why they had him do it. Right? And his name is Buck. So, and don't forget, his name is Joe. And our current president is Joe Biden with the B, Joe Biden and Joe Buck, right? Joe B and Joe B. 122, like the Super Bowl has 2 teams with the 122, like the word satanic equals 122 in the same cipher, like Pope Francis. And remember, San Francisco is named after Saint Francis of Assisi, right? Francis, 122. So there's so much to talk about, guys. I'm just getting if there's anything that you guys want to share in the comments about any of this, because I went over a lot of different topics, but I connected them all together with the time we're in right now. And the dragon year is here, guys. And in the Bible, the dragon falls. And is this the year where we're going to see a fall? Okay. Is that going to be the U.S. currency? Is that because if there's one way to really disrupt everything is to collapse the currencies? I don't know. Everything's at an all-time high right now. The markets, Bitcoin hit is working on hitting another all-time high today. So no doubt it will be tied to the money, but is it also going to be tied to World War II? Because again, I told you. Oh, and don't forget this 3-2-2 thing with Joe Biden, guys. Biden will be 3-2-2. Joseph, I see you're in the chat now. I don't know if you caught this, but this is the amount of days Biden will be on the 13th of February, which is the 3-2-2 days left in the year. Biden will be 29671 days old, which is the 3220 prime on that same day. That's the 3-2-2. Okay. I thought that was absolutely insane. So watch out for that day. But again, we're going to go back to 2022 when Putin attacked Ukraine. Just to reiterate this one more time. 224, like we're in the year 224, and exactly 103 weeks later is Valentine's Day. 103 is Dragon, okay? And I told you, Putin was born in a dragon year, guys. So he's the dragon. He attacks on 224. Enter the dragon equals 224. He's being interviewed as we enter the year of the dragon, okay? And dragon equals 103, okay? So definitely could be something. Maybe not, but definitely something to watch out for. Yeah, Obama equals 103 too. And we had him making the movie about missiles hitting New York. And then I just showed you that commercial. With Ryan Reynolds playing Satan, and they're watching bombs or missiles hit New York City. Okay. So lots to think about. Let me jump into a chat for a few minutes. Then I got to get off here, and my girlfriend wants to sleep. But I think I covered everything. Okay. Yeah, and don't forget. Yep, exactly, guys. There was a lot of bucks and deer in the Leave the World Behind movie. Good catch. Exactly. So watch for the buck. You know, there was a buck on the front of that movie. And now you have Joe Buck saying there's a bad story coming out of the Super Bowl. I mean, come on. And remember, we already know how perfectly tied in Obama and his movie were with the Super Bowl. Okay. Remember, Obama's birthday is 8/4, which is 192 days before the Super Bowl. Okay. And the name of his movie, Leave the World Behind, 192, Deer 192. Okay. Super Bowl 58, when you type it out, 192. Paint the Town Red, which I already talked about. So yeah, you guys have heard me talk about this 192 so many times. If you guys have been in the channel, right? So yeah, I think I hit everything, guys. Thank you guys for, look at Joseph in the chat. I need to make your account a moderator. Hold on. Yep, Joseph. I already talked about the eclipse. If you want to go back and watch, I know you got in late. I talked about how The Rock just slapped Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes will be performing he will be facing the Bloodline one day before the eclipse and the American Nightmare. Okay, so Cody Rhodes is known as the American Nightmare, which equals 192. Okay, just like all the other things. Okay, and again, Cody Rhodes, let me just pull up this thing one last time. He gets slapped and he will be facing Roman Reigns. He's the American Nightmare, guys. Something not so good. Okay. And I'll just bring up the WrestleMania photo one more time. Yep. Here it is, guys. One day before the eclipse. And he's the American Nightmare, which equals 192. Like eclipse equals 192. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I didn't even put a presentation together today. I didn't have time, but I don't know. In my mind, I connected all these events, and I was like, wow, I got to make a video. But so I'm sorry it's not like fluid and in a presentation form, but I think I hit everything. So thank you, guys. Yeah, the Brooklyn Bridge, I'll look more into that because I think that you guys said that was the bridge in that commercial, the Brooklyn Bridge. Yeah, I'll be on here for 5 more minutes, guys, and then I got to get off. So, yeah, of course it's on 4/7, right? Yeah. I mean, WrestleMania on 4/7, and it's going to be featuring the main guy named Cody, right, which is my name. It's just so weird because the name Cody has not been very big, you know, and now all of a sudden it's a huge name. But I just wanted to point out that Cody will be like the main character of the WrestleMania on 4/7, and Cody equals 47, right? Like time equals. Matter of fact, get a load of time and Cody almost have direct gematria. Okay, and we know that that's a huge number with the degrees on the Freemason compass at 47 degrees. We notice that's a huge government number because government equals 47. White House, president, government, 47. White House, 47. President, 47. There's other ones too, but that's the main. So, yeah, America is 247 years old right now. Interesting. Wow. That's a good catch, Joshua. Thanks, bro. So he's saying that America is 247 years old right now, and the coach of the Chiefs, Andy Reid, will be exactly 24,007 days old on the Super Bowl. From Andy, oh, that's a huge kex. Oh my goodness. Hold on, guys. Wow. Do you guys see what he wrote in the chat? Hold on. So Andy Reid is the coach of the Chiefs. Right? Like the commander in chief, like the president. So he just said in the chat that America is currently 247 years old right now, okay? From Andy Reid's birth, so let's just do this on the fly. March 19th, 1958, okay? Sorry, I got to wait for it to load. So Andy Reid born March 19th, 1958. And if you go to the Super Bowl, he will be 247, okay? Remember, America is 247 years old. And now if we go from Kamala Harris's birthday, where's Kamala Harris? Okay, so if we go from Kamala Harris's birthday to Andy Reid's birthday, okay, so Kamala Harris was born. So remember this 247, right? Remember this number. Okay, so Andy Reid to Kamala Harris. She was born in 1964, the dragon year. So that means Andy Reid was 2407 days old on the day Kamala Harris was born. And again, Andy Reid will be 247 on the day of the Super Bowl, and America is currently 247 days old. That's crazy. And look at this. Andy Reid was 6 years and 215 days old when Kamala Harris was born. Joseph Robinette Biden equals 215. The area code for Philadelphia is 215, guys. Remember, Andy Reid beat Philadelphia in the Super Bowl last year. The area code's 215, and he was born 215 days apart from Kamala. Joseph Robinette Biden equals 215. They just came out and said that Biden couldn't even remember when his son died. That's how old his age was, and his brain was failing. And the reason that's important is because Biden and his son, Beau Biden, who died in 2015, okay, which is like 215. Beau Biden died on the day, leaving 215 days in the year. Okay, so Joseph Robinette Biden equals 215. That was the name of his son because he has the same name as his father. And he died on the day in 2015, like 215. And he died, let me just go to that date. He died on May 30th, which is the day leaving 215. Okay, so what are the chances of that? Big number. That's also the date I think something could go down, February 15th, 215. Okay. Sorry, I'm missing a lot of your comments, guys. That huge connection from Joshua blew my mind. Does Andy Reid also equal Putin? Really? Huh. Good one. Great connections, guys. Yep. Philadelphia is the 215 area code. And Biden is the president, right? And America's original city was Philadelphia. And they have the key of David, right? The Church of Philadelphia. I started off this decode by talking about the year of open doors. And you know who holds the key to open the door, right? The year of open doors. Let me see if I can find that again. Just type in the year of open doors in Google, and it'll come up. See, 2024. And this is like a Jewish thing. It's somehow connected to the Jewish calendar. They're calling it the year of open doors, right? And they have all these different pictures online you can see where they're showing. That's why Usher, because Usher is a doorman, right? So that's why it's happening. Yeah, exactly. Good connection. Cody went through the forbidden door. That's exactly. Cody Rhodes, the guy I was talking about, he's very connected to the door also. He created another wrestling company, and then one of their shows was called Forbidden Door. And they're saying that Cody went through the forbidden door. So that's another insane connection. Good one. All right, guys. Well, it's now 8:14 here, and I think I covered everything I want to talk about. And now that I'm getting settled here in Albania for a few months, because I can't return to Germany for 3 months, I will be doing all my videos from here. But, got to do them wherever I'm at. So big shout out to Joseph Aquaviva, who was in the chat. I saw he was handing out flyers, getting the word out. That's great stuff, brother. Appreciate you. And yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Please leave your comments about anything else you guys saw in the comments. If you guys want to support the channel, please hit the like button. If you would hit the like button, please help me get the likes up to 100. That would be amazing. And also, if you guys want to support the channel, you can go to my Buy Me a Coffee link at the top of this chat. And I appreciate all the people who donated and helped me out as I'm, doing all this. So much love to all of you guys. God bless. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care out there.